The Modern Dental Assisting, Chapter 43, Restorative and Aesthetic Dental Materials. In this chapter, we talk about the restorative and dental materials, but in this lecture, we're going to cover the properties of these materials. So when we speak of restorative and aesthetic dental materials, we are talking about amalgam, composite resin, glass ionomer, our temporary restorative materials, our tooth whitening products, our gold alloy, and then also our ceramic castings. So we first touch on how a dental material is approved by the ADA to be available for our patients. So in order for dental materials to get the seal from the ADA, they have to meet a certain criteria. And this is going to include them not being poisonous or harmful to the body, not being harmful or irritating to the tissues of the oral cavity. These materials must help protect the tooth and tissues of the oral cavity. They have to resemble the natural dentition as closely as possible and also be aesthetically pleasing and must be easily formed and placed in the mouth and then also conform and function. Dental materials used to restore teeth must respond to and withstand specific factors that are associated with the oral conditions. So these are going to include mechanical properties, thermal changes, electrical properties, corrosive properties. They have to have good solubility, and then also application properties. So when we talk about mechanical properties, we're talking about materials that are able to withstand that biting and chewing force that is a little bit heavier in the posterior or the back area of the mouth. A force is defined as any push or pull on matter. Stress is a reaction within the material that can cause distortion. Strain, change produced within the material that occurs as the result of stress. And then the type of stress and strain can include tensile, compressive, and then also shear. Ductility and mobility. So ductility is the measure of the capacity of a metal to be stretched or drawn out by pulling or tensile force without it breaking or fracturing. Malleability is a measure of the capacity of a metal to be extended in all directions by that compressive force. We talk about thermal changes. So this is any change in temperature within the oral cavity, resulting from hot or cold product. Contraction and expansion. So different materials expand and contract at different rates. Our goal for our dental material is that it has the same rate of contraction and expansion as our natural tooth structure. Electrical properties. These include electrical current, galvanic action. So these can take place in the oral cavity when we have two different or dissimilar metals. So conditions that allow these electrical currents are the saliva containing salt. So this is a good conductor. And then our two metals or components that have a different composition, they kind of act as a battery and give that shock. Corrosion is a reaction that occurs within a metal when it's exposed to corrosive products such as temperature, humidity, and saline. Certain foods contain metallic forms that cause corrosion in our dental materials. Most corrosion involves surface discoloration, and we can remove this pretty easily with polishing, so we don't have to do any special home instructions or tell our patients to stay away from food. And hardness is the measure of resistance of a metal to indentation, scratching, or abrasion. Solubility is the degree to which a substance will dissolve in a given amount of another substance. A material that dissolves easily in the oral environment is of limited use because it'll wash away and leave our tooth structure exposed. We talk about application properties. So this is how the material responds when we're placing it in the oral cavity. So for a dental material to have specific mechanical properties, steps must occur in the application. So we talk about flow at the rate the material is being able to be manipulated, adhesion, how it is adhering to the dental materials and the tooth structure retention, how long is that filling gonna last, or that restorative material going to last in the oral cavity? And then also curing, so how long is that material gonna take to set up fully?